Yeah, welcome to episode 17.
Yo, so we were just talking. Aaron is out from Jiu Jitsu training for a little bit, and he was giving me his diet, and I want to hear what's a average like thing or daily buy meal what you're eating per day looking like.
I mean, right now it's like triple that because I'm like lifting and grappling all the time. So, like, I gotta have eggs, rice, sandwich, banana, yogurt, a huge dinner, and protein shake. You know what I mean? That's my current diet. But since I like hurt my rib and apparently I can't do literally anything except walk, I'm cutting down to like 1700 calories, I think.
Yeah, is that about your maintenance 1700?
My basal is like 1400, so yeah, 1700 is like my. But I used to be kind of fluffy, and I lost like 40 pounds doing that diet, and it was mostly fat too. You like retain a lot of muscle, so
Yeah, have you ever played around with like any form of the keto diet?
no, that was the only diet that I did, and it worked for me. So also that diet, it's the Tim Ferriss slow carb diet, basically is what it's called, and basically that diet has one day where you can have like you can just eat whatever the fuck for one day. But I used to do one meal, but so like I would eat like that all week, and then for one meal I would eat like canes and pizza and beer and everything at once.
So
Like it,
basically, you would just condense your whole cheat day worth
into
of
one
eating
meal,
into
yeah.
one meal,
Well, because basically, I mean, you can't eat enough to undo what you did like in one meal. You know what I mean? So
unless you eat like that.
I still lost weight though, so it's all good.
Full pizza plus a caniac plus
No, it was
a
box
2 liter.
combo and like one of those um what's it called? Like you ever had Blaze pizza or like Pyology, like one of those pizzas. So it's not like a
So like
real
a
pizza.
personal pizza,
But then like a
like an
ton of
actual personal
yeah,
pizza.
then like a ton of booze and stuff too. So, but yeah.
I thought you were doing like a bang bang Cane's caniac right into like a Domino's large.
Nah, I don't think I could do a caniac and eat like half a large pizza maybe. I don't think I could do a full. Well, I mean in my heyday. Now I don't think I can do that. But
Yeah. What else are you doing while you're down and out? How are you coping?
I'm gonna learn how to cook some more shit. So I got some steak stuff to make steak fajitas and chicken fajitas. So I'm gonna add that to my repertoire. That's what I'll be eating for dinner. I'll be eating either chicken or steak fajitas and refried beans. So
Dude, I recently brainstormed a list of like 7 dishes that I want to kind of just like always have in my arsenal, like memorize the recipes, kind of perfect them, and then just have 7 like pretty distinct dishes that you could just rotate them week after week, sort of thing, and not get um tired of them. Because realistically, you're not going to be preparing one every day of every week because you'll have leftovers and shit. So it'll be like 2 or 3, and then 2 or 3, and then 2 or 3, and then you
right.
repeat. So it's basically on a monthly basis that you're seeing those 7 dishes. But I think that's like a pretty neat concept. I saw that somewhere, and I don't remember where it was. I think Tom actually was like, "Dude, you see that there?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." But at any rate, it sounds like that's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, and well, it's funny because when I was doing that diet the first time, I was eating like those Kroger roast chickens like every night, and I have Kroger roast chickens and um like refried beans and like salad, and I ate that for like 6 months straight for dinner.
Dude, the Kroger roast chickens are hard to beat though, because up at school, I mean, we did beer butt chicken a few times, and I mean that's all. It's fun, like you're out grilling, like it's nice. It tastes a little bit better. The chicken's a little bigger, but also the chicken's like more expensive, and it's not even
Yeah,
cooked. So it's like I'm walking out there paying $10 or so for a like a full like big plumper raw chicken, and then the Kroger roast chickens are like what, $8 or something, seven
I
ninety
mean, it used
nine.
to be like six, but now they're like eight. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, dude. I always preferred the doing the beer butt because what I like we did so up at school. It was really cool when we did this, but we did beer butt chicken ribs, pot roast, and then maybe a tikka masala once. But basically, there were maybe 10 to 15 times where we all just threw in for like a big dinner, and
Hmm.
then we'd like, if it's a nice day, we're out grilling ribs or beer butt chicken or whatever, and everyone's just hanging out. We did like a community style dinner, the four of us up at school, and it was really fun. And like I said, I mean, even those three things, cooking meat, you can all throw into one category, but then like pot roast and tikka masala, like those are two like very different dishes in terms
Right.
of taste, but realistically, the cooking technique is the same. I mean, it's you can do it in the Instapot, and you got to like braise. Well, with the tikka masala, you got to do like an overnight marinade for best results,
Yeah.
but essentially, you got to cook the meat a little bit, and then you throw it into the Instapot with the sauce, and then let it like braise or boil or whatever the culinary term is in
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah. I
then it
understand.
cooks up, gets up to temperature, and you're good to go. So I'm all for the really tasty, quick, kind of like macro or I can't use macro in this sense because the gym bros use it another way. So macro in the case or in the sense of what's the I mean macro is a prefix, but what's the word that we're actually using when we say macro in like the scape sense? From like an
Um.
eagle's eye view, I guess I should say, a larger scope view, a macro
Uh.
strategy.
I mean, still the word is macro, so yeah.
Yeah, but macro is a prefix, like macroeconomics, for example.
Oh, I mean,
And the way in which we use it implies that it's a prefix to something, because you wouldn't just say macro.
um,
Like macro efficient, I don't think is the actual word.
I
There it
mean,
might
the
be.
word I would use is 80/20, 80/20ing it, but or like Pareto principle or whatever, but I don't
What's
know.
what's 80/20?
Um,
Isn't that the rule that like 20% of the population holds like 80% of the wealth or like
it can be
that?
applied to anything.
It's like allocation.
Like 80% of your gains come from 20% of your exercises, 80% of your
Got it.
80% of
Okay, but
your whatever, you know, what am I trying to say? You're like, it's
well,
basically
yeah,
just like looking where you get asymmetric gains, and then yeah,
yeah, we can revisit that if we want to. We're getting off on a tangent. What I was trying to say is I'm all for meals that are very easy to do on a large scale because they either have
scalable.
the same, yeah, scalable, macro efficient, eagle's eye view. Like you're able to knock out multiple birds with one stone sort of things when you buy chicken thighs, for example, because they're in three of the dishes that you do. And when you have an Instapot, well, 6 out of 7 that you do are in the Instapot. So you just have like all of these things that are used for multiple things. So the systems are there, and it's just about combining things at that point. It's like all the Legos are in the bin, but you can build infinite things with that. And in this case, we're just doing 7. It's kind of what I'm trying to communicate.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically I can't eat that roast chicken anymore because it tastes gross to me now, but for
Yeah,
that 6 months it helped me.
we should back way the fuck up and have you explain why you're out sitting out of jiu-jitsu now.
Oh, well, two things. One, I've had like a bulging disc in my neck for like a couple months that I've been training through, so I'm hoping that goes away. And two, I popped my rib out of the cartilage last Tuesday, so it's just been kind of jiggling around in my rib cage ever since. And the only way to let it heal is to not lift, run, or do anything strenuous for like a month at least.
But you did pull some subs with a slipped rib.
Yeah, that was a bad idea, but I went to open mat like after that, and because it didn't hurt, but I felt it jiggling around, so I'm like, yeah, I probably should stop now.
Yeah,
But I'm definitely my plan is just like keep going to class like twice a week or something and just taking notes so I can like still learn stuff and hopefully not regress too much when I return.
yeah. So what kind of exercises are you doing?
I mean, I can't do any for a little bit because literally anything if you like use your core at all, it delays the healing process.
Yeah. I
So
guess it is tricky to like I was gonna say, what if you were seated and we're doing like the Ben Patrick tibialis raises or something, but even
your
something
core
like
still
that,
engages like
you
yeah, it's
yeah,
just
you increase and I don't know I think what it is resisting resisting force from so like when you're in a car and you take a turn and you get that centripetal force, you either go with the turn, like your body, or you tighten up your core, or some combination of the
Yeah.
two. I think no matter what movement you're doing, since your core encompasses, your center of mass for most people, I think maybe like genetic anomalies that have like really fucking huge and really dense legs, but don't have arms anymore, and had some weird surgery to remove their thoracic and lumbar spine and condense their torso, might have a center of mass that's like down near their thighs. But for the normal person, since your center of mass is affected by any movement that your appendages are doing, you're gonna naturally tighten up your all everything there, I believe, to resist that. And that would be my hypothesis as to why that's happening. But I mean, I think that's a pretty sound reason. That sucks though. I mean, I guess if you were a climber, you could do some like grip strength exercises, and I feel like you don't really tighten your core.
Yeah, I mean, I might as
You
well
just
just
sat
not do
here.
anything. I'm not gonna sit around and like do a grip crush. Like I don't know. I'd rather just do other things.
Yeah, you got any more side quests, or are you learning any languages or anything?
Oh yeah, funny. You should mention that. We're both learning Russian right now because, well, ultimately I want to read the Russian literature in Russian. That's my ultimate goal. And I also have a Russian coworker, so maybe talk to him a little bit. It's been fun so far. It's definitely flexing a muscle that I've like not used ever. So,
What can you tell me in Russian?
uh, я учусь говорить по-русски. That means I'm learning Russian.
Give me another one, and let's see if I can understand and translate it. And then
Uh,
I'll give you one.
um, let me think here. Я не понимаю.
Yani Ponamayo. Um, I'm not Ponamayo.
It's understand. I don't understand. Is what it is.
Uh, I don't
All right.
understand.
Okay, you got this. Eta papa y mama. How about that?
This is dad and mom.
Yeah, that's from Duolingo.
All right.
What can you tell me that I can try to translate?
Um, Eto loshed es jabloka.
This is something in an apple. I don't know what the first word is.
Uh, Etot loshed. This, or yeah, this horse aced, ate
Oh, aced, est. Okay, this horse ate an apple. Okay.
jabloka. Yep, this horse ate it. It's weird because horse and square, like the town square, like sound and I think are spelled pretty similarly. So that seems like a weird, like in English you don't really have those mess ups, I feel like. Can you
Sure there are, and probably just like we don't use
well,
it.
all right, there gotta be, yeah, because think about anything that has a really like common suffix. So I'm looking at this short story. Funny I mentioned that too. Oh. um there's a word child, and like ch in Russian is basically just that h reflected up and over, uh so it's one letter, but if you replace that ch with a w, it's child to wild, which is like drastically different meanings. But either way, loshed with an l is horse, and blowshed with like a bl is square.
Yeah,
It might be
that's.
a gl,
I mean, there's got
glowshed
to
or
be like some
blowshed.
kind of root word that encompasses whatever, but I don't know enough.
Yeah, that'd probably be like Russian. Like some of those questions are going to be Russian grammar, where you have to be like in the weeds of Russian grammar to like understand. Or I don't even know if grammar is the right, but like linguistics, understanding like in English, for example, like fiction, diction, depiction,
Yeah.
Like there's no like root word there. Like iction doesn't hold meaning itself, but it's a suffix that has like meaning when attached to other things. But then there's also like etymology of words. So like um this word right here, apocryphal, I'm sure has like really interesting etymology. And here, let me Google this real quick. So we'll search Google for apocryphal. It's an adjective meaning of doubtful authenticity, although widely circulated as being true.
Is
And
that
then,
apocryphal or
yeah,
apocryphal
apocryphal.
or
I don't
I
know
think
if
it's
I was.
apocryphal actually. Let me see how you pronounce it.
And then if we look at the,
Apocryphal. Yeah, apocryphal.
yeah, and then if you look at like the etymology, like it goes from Latin apocrypha scripta, meaning like hidden, and then from the Greek apokryphos, and then from probably more ancient Greek apokryptian, or possibly a different conjugation, but like either way, you can trace that through history and like see how it's changed and like how those sounds and that spelling holds meaning. But when you go into a different language as different characters, it's way harder to see that because like um radio, for example, is pronounced radio, and like it's spelled. It looks like pi a uh
Hmm.
p. No, I don't think it's a D. I think it might be a P sound. Like, no, no, no. It might be rapio. How do you say it? Radio to Russian.
It's p a r excuse me. R a d e o. I don't know the names of the letters, but that's the sounds they make. I don't know. But no, the Russian P sound is comes from the Greek character for pi. Like that, or the P letter in Russian that looks like pi. It is
Y-
from pi because the dude who
yes.
made that alphabet was like partially Greek or something.
Yeah, the Cyrillic alphabet. So yeah, in Russian, radio is spelled P A essentially. I don't know, it looks like a house on stilts, maybe a car. Like, you don't speak Russian. What the hell is that? And then there's a thing that kind of looks like an N, but it's mirrored. So, already we're looking at like pan, like radio. You're not getting that. And then the last letter is an O. So you're looking at this, you're like, "Oh, panda, piano. Uh,
Yeah, when you said P, I thought you meant Russian P. You meant the character P, but is makes the R sound in Russian. Okay, yeah, I understand.
yeah, I might have misspoke.
No,
But
I
yes.
got confused, but I understand now.
So yeah, essentially you're looking at this, you're like, what the hell? But then like if you know how these letters sound, oh, radio, like easy. Same with
Yeah,
office, right? So office in Russian is like it's office, but it's O, and then there's like this weird symbol that
it
kind
looks
of
like
looks
I
like
think that's
a
like
D.
it looks like a phi, like the Greek letter phi or phi.
Yeah, it looks like a D attached to a P, kind of like nut to butt. And then again, you get this N that's mirrored, and then a C. So you're looking at this, you're like, odd pinnick? Like
Yeah,
what? No, office. And yeah, so it is really weird. Like I'm sure Arabic and like Mandarin Chinese and Japanese and like all these other languages that have very different sounds and very different characters, you suffer the same learning curve where you're just like having a very hard time understanding what part of the word is the suffix, what part is like the prefix, which part's the root, what it means, how you pronounce it.
yeah, and it's funny though, cause like in like video games and movies now, like there's like Russian letters. I'm like, hey, I can read exactly what it's saying now. So that's cool. Usually I don't know what it actually means, but I can sound out the word. So
How fast can you do that? Like when I see a big word now in Russian, I have to like really sit there and sound it out for a second.
at like third grade speed.
Third grade, dude, I don't remember how fast that is.
I mean, the word distribution. If I was sounding out, I'd be like distribution. Like that's me.
Okay, that's good. You're getting like double letters
But
and
then there's
like
a lot of grammar stuff that I'm sure I'm ignoring still. So like, yeah.
do a really easy way to get you some practice at like big words and sounding them out is take that Russian keyboard and then go into Google and just like uh, type a few characters and then take some auto suggestion terms. And so this one's like, here, I'll sound it out. Alexander. Alexander Hikol.
Nikolai, probably. There's no is. Oh, sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
Yeah, you caught me on that. An H is not an H. Nikolaevich. Alexander Nikolaevich.
Close.
Yakovlev. Yakovlev. What?
Yakovlev, maybe.
Yeah, it is. Soviet Russian politician. But either way, you search this guy's name in Russian, and then a bunch of Russian articles come up. And I was searching, I searched, excuse me, Dungeons and Dragons campaign. I managed to type that in Russian, and then I got to the Dungeons and Dragons like campaign page where they were like talking about them. And when me and Colton were out looking for campaign books, I was able to like sound out the campaign name because like the name like proper nouns that are weird like are really just roughly translated into Russian, I feel like sometimes. So like the sounding out phonetically was almost exactly like it
Yeah.
read on the book. So I was able to tell them like, oh, they're saying this is like the highest rated campaign. Oh, they're saying this is the second rated. And I was waiting for them to look over at my phone and see that everything's in Russian and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Colton doesn't like the Russian learning thing for whatever reason.
It's all right. All right, here's a big one. So this one is so PR easy President Colo. Presidentcolo. Here, let me send this to you
I
and
mean, yeah,
see
you're gonna
if
have to send me the word, and I could try to sound like I can't. I don't know what you're trying to sound out via.
that was my attempt at it. I already gave it
Uh,
a good college try.
Presidentsko Skoro. Oh, Skogo. Presidentskogo.
Oh, is there a G in
Oh, it's
that?
Presidentskoga. Skoga. There's one of those O's is unstressed. Presidents.
Oh, I read that last G as an L.
Presidentskoga. Skaga is my guess.
Skaga, yeah.
This is like president or something.
I have no idea.
Oh, now I
Random
gotta look it
word
up.
from random Russian webpage. But yeah, I think it's a good goal to read the Russian literature in
No,
Russian. That's like
presidential. Let's see how they pronounce it.
oh
Президентского. Президентского.
Oh, so that G makes a V sound because of some weird Russian bullshit grammar part.
Президентского.
President Pres
Presidentskova.
Президентского.
So I
Presidentskova.
was almost right. I Presidentskoga, but it's skova
Can
because
you roll
it's.
your R's yet?
I can roll it in certain words like siestra,
Russia. Siesta.
professor,
I can't
engineer.
roll it inwards. I'm
I
really
can't
bad at
roll it
it.
out of words, but like what's the other Russian word that has an R? Radio. Yeah, I mean like
Radio.
I can
I can do
almost do it.
radio. Radio.
Vladimir. Like I can almost do it. I'm close.
Vladimir.
But like certain like if it's the second letter of a word, I can't do it. Like professor. I don't know.
Dude. Okay, so man, yeah, so learning Russian has been really fun so far. I've been doing all of my Russian learning almost exclusively, not sponsored by the way, on Duolingo. And currently I'm in the Silver League and I've been doing this all day at work. Like when I say all day, I mean I
That's
barely
awesome.
worked a lick and have been doing this all day and I am getting fucking mogged by these guys in silver. Like there are some straight killers in this league, man.
They're
I
probably
can
they're probably multi-logging. It's like one dude logs off and the
no,
rest
they're
of 20 logs
paying.
on.
I know they're paying because if you do the so you can do these like lessons essentially, and it's levels 1 through 5. But then after that, there's like a bonus level for essentially you get all the experience that you would have gotten from levels like 1 through 4. You get on this bonus level, and
Oh,
it costs like gems. And I've been able to do some of them because you like passively get them. But I think you can like buy them. I would assume so at least. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They're constantly trying to get me to sign up for the premium, throwing it in my face. So just given how invasive it is, I would
yeah,
assume. But like I've been going I've had my best day so far signed up for this thing today in terms of experience gain per day, and I'm getting slapped on the first day of the league by 3 people above me. and like the people below me are nipping at my feet. I feel them, man. They're like little piranhas.
I've been doing like a mix of Duolingo, memorize some books and some YouTube, so but I can't like learn it at the office cuz yeah, people are watching, so I have to pretend to be busy, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I know, well, it's gonna sound arrogant, but I don't have to do much at work, and the little bit that I do, I know I'm really good at doing. So if I ever get asked to do anything, I do it. But I'm at the point where, given all of those facts, I'm completely fine if people see me trying to learn Russian. As a matter of fact, if they ask me what I'm doing, I'm very happy to
You
tell them
can
that I'm
say
learning
"Я
Russian.
учусь говорить по-русски."
Ruski.
Русский, русский,
Ruski.
русский. But yeah, ultimate goal is to read Bratya Karamazov in Russian, Anna Karenina, War and Peace, Crime and Punishment, The Idiot, Nabokov, Pushkin, all of those dudes. That's the goal. I think it could take like about three years roughly.
Is it Bratya? I thought it might be like Brati.
It's well according to Google Translate, it's Bratya Karamazov,
Brothers.
the brothers
Brothers.
Karamazov.
Is brothers possessive?
I don't know in that case. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far in the grammar to be honest.
Oh, it is ya. Even for just brothers plural. Bratya. Oh, there's a rest in it too, dude. Like I'm never gonna be able to write in Russian properly. I'm gonna look like a hick writing in Russian. They're gonna be like, "What kind of backwoods
Yeah, but apparently like
idiot?"
Russian poetry is like some next level shit. That's what my coworker was saying. Like this dude, Alexander Pushkin, um, like his poetry just like was completely sublime and like it does stuff you can only do in Russian. So I'm interested in all that stuff too. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think honestly, and what am I trying to say? I think the same could be said for someone like John Donne that plays with like the English language. Like you can't if you directly translate that to Russian, like the meaning is lost.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And there's like it's funny because there's some words or there's some sounds in Russian that aren't in English. So like there's no sound in Russian like in the word this. So I found out like in Russian accent people say like these, like because of the e, which is the backwards n sound. Um, they say
I feel
like
like the I exists between the other letters. There's no
yeah, but
symbol for it.
there's no specific I sound. So like Russian people, if there's an it like magazine, they or not magazine.
Nordvisk is a good example, but you said Nordvisk.
Yeah,
Nordvisk.
it's like it's funny too because like when I'm practicing talking, my mouth gets tired because it's like all the sounds like you're pushed like you really use the front of your mouth and like your tongue and like push sounds out in Russian, whereas in English it's I think it comes from more like the back of your mouth and it's like kind of just rolls out.
Yeah, I've been like I'm not focused on proper pronunciation at this point. I'm focused on like getting the idea out there and hopefully pronouncing it good enough to not confuse it with other words, and then like hoping that the pronunciation comes later.
Right.
That might be like a bad way to do it, but I think like
I don't
I've
think
been
there's any
thinking,
right or wrong way. I think it's just like a matter of just getting reps in,
yeah.
basically. Because
I
we're
was
both
also,
experiencing newbie gains, like hardcore newbie gains right now.
dude, I think you're gonna experience newbie gains like literally until you learn all of the most common language. Because like you know how there's the 1,000 most common words in like every language. If you learn those, then technically like you're good to go, assuming you know the conjugations of all the verbs in that list, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're good to like survive barely.
Yeah, but at any rate, I think like once you get to that level, but like at a you know using that kind of as a figurative example, like at a level where you're able to converse generally, and you know if you're plopped down in Russia, you'd be able to survive, sort of thing, versus like being able to understand eloquently written literature and moreover heard it spoken by
Yeah.
somebody, or like medical Russian, for example, is a whole nother can of worms
Yeah, I think
versus like the common
I think like
spoken Russian.
technical language is like the highest level of competency or whatever.
Yeah, or at least being able to discuss, like being able to have a conversation that like two doctors or two lawyers would have like over a casual lunch sort of thing, like not
They're
technically
like very
professional.
domain specific, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, not technically professional, but like very well read, you know, person talking to another person, and naturally big ideas get discussed with big words sort of thing.
But
So I
yeah.
feel like technical language a lot of times, at least in like published technical language, gets like lost in the sauce. Like you can tell that they just tried to pull every jargon that they could.
I think in
And
like a bad paper it's like that, but if you read good papers, it's like a
no,
story almost.
I think I'm gonna die on this hill, and that was a hyperbole, admittedly. But even like people that are like clout chasing and like publishing really good science, uh, tend to like try to present themselves as way more well spoken than they actually are, sort of thing. It's like over
Yeah,
refinement.
I guess that's like a fair assessment, but I think what is that Hamlet quote? Like brevity is the soul of wit. So the quicker you can explain harder things, I think that shows how like that actually shows intelligence better than just fucking using the biggest word.
Yeah,
Uh
but in academia, they all um think that using big words is the soul of wit. So sometimes like they beat around the bush and use a lot of big words, and then like maybe you can follow it eventually once you like draw it out and pin it up on a wall sort of thing and trace the string around, but like realistically you could have explained it in way fewer words at the same level to your same target audience, so you should have, which it sounds like we agree on.
Yeah, I think honestly, visiting Russia would be cool at some point when they're not fighting a war against Ukraine in like 10 years from now or something. But
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'd be down for that. Are
like
there any cool
apparently,
mountains to climb in Russia?
sure there are, but apparently like Moscow, Moskva is cool. St. Petersburg, what is the word for St. Petersburg? I can't remember. My coworker taught me it the other day, but Moskva is Moscow.
Yep, Moskva. And then if you're talking about somebody being there, it's Moskvia.
Moskvia. Interesting.
Dude, what in the fuck? I'm hoping that I'm on like the wrong web page, but I'm no, I think I'm on the right web page. I'm on the Mountain Project, which has like, so to put this into perspective, Aaron, remember that one day that we met up and we were gonna go outside climbing, but then we
Yeah.
got rained out. So that little spot that I was gonna take you outside climbing, like in bumfuck nowhere, um, every single little like boulder problem that I was gonna show you there was on a website, logged, described, graded, and probably repeated by other people on this website, Mountain Project. So if you, for example, were to search a mountain project just climbing in Ohio, you would get thousands of climbs. And Ohio is a shit state for climbing. So if you were looking at like Kentucky, where Red River Gorge is, for example, you'd get like tens of thousands of climbs. So I'm looking at, and even bigger scope. If you look at like North America, you might even get like 100,000 climbs. I'm
Yeah.
looking at Russia, the country of
I
Russia.
mean, Russia's humongous too. Don't forget that.
It is humongous. You want to guess how many climbs are in Russia?
750,000.
16.
Oh, 16,000.
16.
16 million?
16, dude.
Oh, 16 total.
16.
I thought this was going in the direction of like there's even more. Okay.
No, there's 16
I thought you
described
would be like,
climbs in
oh, it's like
Russia.
16 million, bro. You don't even know. And then it's like, shit.
No.
No, it's literally 16. Okay.
Oh my gosh. That is just pitiful. I figured there'd be like some really cool alpine stuff.
I
And
mean,
there's
maybe they
like,
don't know about that website. I'm sure there's like a Russian website.
I hope maybe there is. We'll have to, if there's any Russian listeners that climb, drop me a DM in
Hey,
Russian,
any
please. I'll try to
Russian
sound
like
it out.
any single Russian ladies too? Preview.
Dude, I always get ads for single Russian ladies, so I think I could hook you up, Aaron. I know some people.
I think Russian girls are like underrated severely.
I feel like Russian girls are like one of those things that there's a very vocal minority for. I think I think Russian women are well spoken for.
I know. I think they're really underrated because people like never think about Russian chicks when they talk about like the hot like foreign nationalities, if you like. But
I don't know, dude. I think Russians are up
maybe
there.
it's the
We should,
accent. Maybe it's the
you know what
accent.
we should do? We should pull the Discord later and ask people for their
We did that
ask.
already. And
No, we should get it informal because I'm saying like top five, like ranked out. Because I'll bet you like all these lists are going to include Russian on there somewhere. It might not be like number one or two, but we need to expand the list to pull the boys and expand the list to include the possible exclusion bias that I think the Russian women are experiencing in your eyes. Because you might have just asked them
I
their
just said
top
under.
three.
I didn't say they're bad or like they're just underrated. Not severely underrated, just
Underrated.
underrated.
That's fair
Like
enough.
they're a sleeper pick.
Sleeper pick.
No pun intended. But
Dude, you
yeah,
want to
and
talk about these short stories or just keep riffing?
let's keep riffing. We can do that. We can do like a bang, not a bang bang, but like we can do another episode this week since we're behind, air quotes behind anyway. But
Yeah, that sounds good. We're coming up on 21. What are we gonna do for? Is this 21?
this is
What is
17,
this?
bro.
17? All right, we got to do something big for the 21st anniversary.
Okay, I'll think of
I
something.
think it would only be appropriate that we crack some brewskis, just given the
21.
number.
Let's drink 21 beers.
That is egregious. There was one time that it was up at school. Brian and Matt, one of my other roommates, their women were visiting for the weekend, and they went out for dinner and a movie. And Brian gave me a challenge to make a beer mid and drink oh, what was it? Make it was make it implied making a beer mid and doing like I think two infernos or something, or as many infernos as I could. And I was like one beer from the beer mid and like halfway through the second inferno and they walked in the door and I was like, dude, how'd you guys get back so fast? And they're like, we didn't watch the movie. And then I didn't whatever I forget what the payout was, what he said he was gonna do, but he stuck to it and didn't give it to me. But despite the fact they came back early, I was like, what the fuck, dude? I got scammed. I got trade scammed.
But yeah, well, I'll think of something. But what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but no, like in general, Russian culture is super cool because like they're super into like wrestling or yeah, wrestling and chess and stuff like that. Um, and a very stoic culture.
Yeah, dude, I would love to go over and just train a little bit of wrestling. Like I have no aspirations of competing or
Or
anything, and
sambo would be fun. Looks fun, which is like
yeah, something
Russian
like that.
jiu-jitsu basically.
But
It's
it'd
funny
be
because
fun to
go
just
ahead.
like wrestlers are just like a different kind of breed of people, and like being around that type of person, but like a Russian version of that would like be a cool immersion experience for like language learning and just like being there.
Well, apparently in that culture, like they do a lot more like playful wrestling, and they don't wrestle hardcore as much. They do like 70% of their training at like chill speed. That's what I've been reading. Whereas like in American wrestling, it's like you're always going ham. Oh, I don't know if that's true or not, but like that's what the impression I'm getting. So,
Yeah.
but they'll train way more though. They'll train way more, but at that chill speed. So obviously two very different training philosophies. But yeah, Sambo, for those who don't know, I actually learned about this like last week. So in Japan, judo in like 1950 or something, like after World War II, the founder of judo, Jigoro Kano, he wanted judo in the Olympics, and so he's like sent all of his like best students out across the world to spread judo. and the dude who spread it to Russia, like it got super popular in Russia, judo did, because like it's pretty similar to wrestling, which is already popular there. Anyway, the Russian government was like, "Yo, we can't have this Japanese sport as like one of our main sports. Let's change it." So they changed it to sambo, changed the techniques, and instead of the gi jacket and pants, it was like gi jacket and shorts. So that's why that's this the sambo outfit. And obviously, one of those students, those judo students, went to Brazil and started Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. But yeah, it's all from the same place, Japan. So that was an interesting little historical nugget.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that was the lore.
Yeah, the lore is like way deeper than that, but that's like the 5 minute lore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, in college our jiu-jitsu instructor was a black belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu, and I think he had his brown belt in Brazilian. But
yeah, so
he
Japanese Jiu Jitsu was originally designed as like in the samurai era, where like if you lost your sword, then Jiu Jitsu was the fighting without the sword, basically. So it included like techniques for like eye gouging and all that shit. And
oh
then
yeah.
basically it was like judo plus like all those lethal techniques, but then it was kind of seen as like very brutal and rough when the samurai era died down. So Jigoro Kano like removed all that other stuff and just did the throws and the wrestling basically, and that's what became modern judo. And then even more modern judo is like just literally throws and arm bars basically. And then because in the judo matches in like the 1930s, I think there were people that would just like pull guard in the judo competition, and the judo player would be like, "Fuck, I don't know what to do." And the crowd wouldn't like when people pulled guard and like started like attacking the legs and stuff like modern jiu-jitsu. So he Kano banned that part from judo. So anyway, fun fact.
Yeah, judo's like Greco-Roman wrestling with submissions, essentially.
Yeah, but there's a lot of weird rules in modern judo. Like you can only get like a certain grip for like 2 seconds. You have to, I don't know. There's a lot of weird rules that are just like kind of bullshit, honestly. But
Dude, one of my prouder moments in club jiu-jitsu up in college was this I don't know if I went up to a judo practice or if it was like an open mat or like if he came to one of our practices, but one of my boys, Sohail, he was in the club judo as well, and their instructor, who had a black belt in judo, was rolling with me at one point, and I was just like, disengaging, because every time, like, I'm pretty good, like, in the clinch or like locked up, as you would say in wrestling, because you just do that a lot in wrestling, so I'm comfortable there. But I could feel him like give it like you can feel as a wrestler, you can feel when somebody wants you to move a certain way or is pressuring you or like you can feel changes in pressure. And this something was a little fishy. Something was sus with this guy. The way he was pulling and pushing me. So I was just trying to disengage, back up, not get caught in anything. And he kept coming for it a little, coming for it a little, like getting more aggressive because I guess he just thought that I didn't have anything in my arsenal. Well, what I had, and I think I showed you this move, Aaron, and
yeah,
might have told you this
that
story.
nerdy spin move, that
This
really
arm
flashy.
spin, and
Yeah,
you have to get somebody pushing in for you for this to work really well, or else you have to turn it into a Japanese whizzer. And listeners can look that up, but essentially it's like an arm throw, throwing someone like over the top of you. You come like down and under. But I hit him with this arm spin, and if he was quick enough and knew what it was, he could have just got me in a rear naked choke. Like it's really not a great move in jiu-jitsu or judo because you're exposing your neck. But I got him down and like pinned the arm and got like full mount on him, and I think we were just like rolling like takedowns or whatever the judo equivalent is, but like establishing control on the mat. But it was pretty badass to throw a black belt like that. And then he's like, dude, you gotta show me that.
but yeah. If I go against a dude and I know he does judo, I just pull guard immediately. Like, yeah, like yeah, I'm not gonna like I'm not going into your world.
That's what a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys in the club did, knowing that I knew wrestling. no one would stand up with me. So all the guys that had really good bottom game would
I mean,
just
that's really smart.
sit on
That's
their
like an
ass and
optimal
wait.
strategy though for them, basically. So
Dude, I got my ass handed to me by this guy. He was a blue belt. This little like 100-pound Chinese guy. Just he would just sit there and wait, and then you would come into him, and like I I literally couldn't keep my balance, and I'm like if
very
somebody's down,
stable. You're
I
very
can walk
stable.
into them like a brick wall, like a moving brick wall, and usually keep my balance. But this guy instantly webbed up like a little fucking spider under my legs and just like wrapping me in every direction. And it felt like the scene from Harry Potter where they're like after they get past the dog and then go down the fucking
The
hatch.
vine things,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, the vines were like the more you move, like the more you get tangled. That's what it felt like. And I'm just like, oh shit, dude. So suddenly he's on top and then I get submitted and it's just like rinse and repeat. And then if I do manage to like get into him and like stand there and stay stable, if I pin a leg down or something, he'll just pull guard and then has me in his full. And it's like, all right, well, what do I fucking do from here? Nothing. I can pick you up and you're strong enough to just dangle there with your legs. You know, I'm not gonna slam you because I'm not an asshole. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, like nothing. You can't do anything. The guy's like just so sticky. It's
Gotta ground and pound.
annoying. You ground him, but yeah, that's what you would do. But like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the technique on some of them fellers is just insane. And the one moment that I had that I felt like a little freaking fly like darting around is the one I told you about this where it was the biggest guy that I rolled with. It was probably like 270 something like that.
Jeez.
And like if he got on me with all his weight and like laid it out, just smothers me. So I had to stay real compact and like get down between him, find openings like between his legs or behind his back and stuff. And like eventually I beat this guy and submitted him a few times, but it's just it takes a toll on you unless you're able to stick on him and get like in really optimal positions down there, which this I'm not that I'm huge, but this little guy like yeah, it was. He was just sitting down under my legs like webbed up like a little spider. Man, just tore me apart from down
Yeah,
there.
that's like the skill tree for small dudes is just like get into your legs and just yeah. And then back
Yeah, it
range.
was
That's like
like
those are like the two skill trees for small dudes.
I don't know what it's technically called, but it was some like permutation of like X guard or scissor guard where you're like down between their legs. You know what I mean?
Probably like single leg X or something.
Yeah,
Or like
but
Ashigarami, aka leg entanglement.
something like that. And it's like he didn't even sweep me, but eventually you would just like succumb to the vines, dude. You would just sink under. They just
Yeah.
fucking
That's
suffocated
actually
you.
how I popped my rib out. I was in X guard underneath somebody and I got stacked in a weird way. So
That'll do it.
it doesn't hurt that much, but it's definitely jiggling around in there.
Which one is it? Like how far down is it?
Um,
Where
it's
is it
like
in
the
relation
first.
to your
It's
nipple?
like the first floating rib on my right side.
So pretty far down under the sternal notch.
I don't know all those words, but
So you know where your sternum is, right in the middle between your boobies.
let me look at. It's number. Um. Oh no, it's not a floating rib. It's a real rib. It's like number five, I think. Rib five.
Oh, number five. That's not at all where the floating ribs
Yeah,
are.
that's what
That's
I
like
said. I thought it was. It's not.
supposed to be connected to
It's
your
a.
sternum.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
Yeah, so that's like right under nipple line.
It's. Oh, maybe it's six. I don't know. I don't have like a little picture on my body. It's either five or six, but yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, literally the only thing I can do is wait. Like, yeah, unless it was like severely broken, which it's not, then they could like set it. But yeah, there's.
yeah. I mean, if you another option, and I'll offer this to you for free as a friend. If you want to come down, I'll let you stay at my place. We can get some construction grade steel, and I got some scalpels. We can cut you open, get you a new rib.
I think I'll pass for now. That would take even longer. Could you give me like a steel? Like I don't know. What would be good to have made out of steel? Probably everything. Probably just be like Wolverine. Just have your entire skeleton be adamantium.
What? adamantium, if we're talking about like mythical materials, sure, but I think bones are actually like stronger than steel on average, or like not average. I mean, like per unit material or whatever the measurement is.
Gotcha. And they also carry nutrients and do other shit that's kind of important. But yeah,
Yeah, like dude, imagine having someone's femur as like a fucking club. Like, dude, that'd
like in
be
Star Wars.
yeah. Like you could break car windows with that. Like you
That's
could go
wacky.
around. You remember the robbery footage that we saw posted in Discord recently
No, I don't.
of our buddy's jewelry store?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, like that dude could have easily done all of that with a femur. Like they're pretty
I
strong.
mean, that would have been even more disturbing.
Imagine left it at the scene too.
I mean, I'm sure something like that must have happened at some point, just because there's so
They
many.
do DNA analysis and they trace the femur back to another local jewelry store owner.
Yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Um,
All right, I want to make a really hard pivot to Martin Shkreli because he's out of prison now and he's posting on Twitter and he's streaming on Twitch every day and it's awesome.
Did
And
he like just recently get out of prison?
yeah, like a month ago.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And first of all, he didn't do anything wrong. Second of all, he served his time, so I am allowed to like him without people shaming me. So I'm a huge simp for Martin Shkreli. I just thought I'd
Dude,
put that out there.
I thought it was fucking hilarious the other day when you were watching him and you're like, oh my god, dude, he's so cool.
He is so cool. I told you I'm a simp.
Verbatim, just like that too. Oh man.
And dude, the
He
thing
is.
is,
He's funny.
he spent 4 years in prison, but like he's coming out and he's like living in Manhattan and he's rich as fuck. Well, so it's like, all right, he's still better than like 99% of us, like lifestyle wise. So he's smart. He's so freaking smart too. Like he's so smart that his trolling like is just so subtle. It's like, yeah, like his new Twitter account is like, he's like a fake rapper called Enrique. Yeah, but oh man, he's so cool.
What is his Twitter handle? ZK Enrique7.
And the ZK is for zero knowledge, like crypto. Like we had the zero knowledge proofs episode. It's literally that. So, and he was, I was watching this video. He was like teaching his like cellmates about crypto and shit when he was in there, and yeah.
Dude, I'd
Oh
like
man.
to see. I want to see the first podcast. Dude, we should have him on the podcast. We'll be the first one. I want to see
Dude,
the
he's
first
already been on
podcast.
podcasts and shit. Like he's literally been making content like 24/7 since it got
I
released.
want to see him talk about the jail experience the whole time.
He
Like,
literally,
just
I'll
he
find
has.
I'll find the video and send it to you.
I want to see like a 2 hour sit down of him just talk about. Cause, dude, you remember what was that dude? Oh, bro. Speaking of Russian, his name was FPS Russia. You remember him?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, oh my brother. So this guy FPS Russia, um, I think he still might be relevant in some regard, but had a big YouTube channel quite a few years ago. I mean like shit, my buddy Ben was showing me FPS Russia videos when we were first playing RuneScape. So this was like 2008, 2009 maybe. Um like a very long time ago, this guy was making like videos of him shooting guns, and he would just like he had a ridiculous arsenal. So he eventually began making videos of him kind of like loading things up with tannerite and just shooting it and blowing it up. He made a video of him loading a big truck, like a F-150 or something. Probably like it was like a Ranger, I don't know, but it was like a defunct truck that he had bought and loaded up with tannerite. Well, the way they rigged the tannerite fucking blew the passenger door off towards him. Like this is all on video. I'll show you this video after the podcast, but it narrowly fucking misses him, and then he looks like all for the video. He said like later he was like, "Oh, I was shitting myself during it," but on the camera he just looks at the camera, cools a cucumber, and goes something along the lines of like, "That was big explosion." But dude, this guy is like legendary, and apparently he got caught up in some like possession charge for having marijuana on him. He had like it was I don't remember if he said it was like medical use, but it like the way he described it, it at least wasn't like obnoxious or irresponsible use of marijuana. Like he was taking it to his house or something like that, but he had like 2 ounces on him. So they got him for like felony trafficking charges or
Holy
something.
cow.
He went to prison, but then when he came out, I've seen a bunch of like podcast clips of him describing all of these different stories that happened to him in prison, and they're just so entertaining. Like one of them, he was saying that and you'll have to go like it really is worth a watch if you can find all these videos of FPS Russia talking about his life in prison. It was on a podcast with a bunch of the old machinima guys that made like Call of Duty videos, and um, basically he was saying in prison like the currency in there that they were using to like trade for shit was like tins of mackerels, and they called them Mackies, and yeah, like
Oh,
it was just
well,
weird,
in Martin
dude.
Shkreli's prison, it was books of stamps. They call them books. That was the currency.
Like a real life NFT.
Yeah. Oh man. Or is it Shkreli or Shkreli? I can't remember what the actual pronunciation is, but yeah, that dude's crazy smart. It's just like, I mean, so basically what he did was he raised the price of this drug, so everybody was pissed off, but nobody was actually paying for this drug. It was like all insurance because it was some like weird experimental drug. So he was ripping off insurance companies. So it's still wrong, but it's not like he was hurting anybody. So that's why he only did 4 years in prison, I guess.
And he said if anyone wanted the drug and like emailed him asking, he gave it to him for free.
Yeah, because apparently in the pharmaceutical business, there's like a lot of weird loopholes like that. Since apparently, which I was totally unaware of. So
Dude, we should start a pharmaceutical company.
that
I got
sounds
some of the know-how.
that sounds extremely challenging, but
I know how to make something in the lab that we could put in a pill and
oh,
make
I
it look
wonder.
marketable.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the hard part isn't the making the pill; it's passing the FDA's thing and going to market
No,
is the
that is
hard
the
part.
hard part.
Because
I
I
mean,
can make a
it
pill
is
like
it
no
is hard
problem.
go because like I mean like I said I could go in the lab and make something, but like what I make and the purity of what I make, I don't know. And realistically, even drawing it out on paper and getting it to lab like that takes a trained chemist, and me being able to do that, like I said, I mean I can make something and it might be some target product, but I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You need the instrumentation and all that, and then all like you alluded to, most of the money is spent getting the FDA approval. Like it's billions and billions and billions of dollars. And
And then the drug
yeah,
might still like flop. Like, yeah, pharmaceuticals is a very difficult business. But I mean, not to say it's impossible. It's just you gotta. It's not like like a making an app where I can just make a fucking app and just put it on the app store like in a week or whatever.
yeah. So let's see, Eliquis, a blood thinner. Let's see, how much money did it take
So
Eliquis to get to
basically, it's just
market?
like Viagra pays for every drug and the COVID. Excuse me, that one vaccine.
This is just gonna give me supplies of Eliquis. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more intense Googling than I'm willing to do right now. But yeah, regardless, it takes a lot of money to get drugs to market, and then like the top, if you look up the top 10 best-selling drugs of 2019 is this list. I mean, Eliquis did 8 billion, but realistically, like it probably took them 4 or 5, 6, 7 billion dollars to get that drug to market,
And then
so it
the other
doesn't turn
thing
a
too is like
profit
you
for a
only have
while.
like a limited time where you can make money on this thing before it goes generic
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah, but there's also scummy ways to extend that. So like for example, Eliquis, let me look in the package insert so I'm not giving baloney information. There's indications, right? So Eliquis is indicated to reduce the risk of stroke and systemic embolism in patients with non-valvular atrial fibrillation. So basically, it's a blood thinner that you're able to use when someone has diagnosed AFib or irregular heart rhythms. For the prophylaxis, for the prevention of deep vein thrombosis, which may lead to pulmonary embolism in patients who have undergone hip or
Is that
knee
like blood
replacement
pooling
surgery.
in your something rather?
Yeah, deep vein thrombosis is like blood pooling in your veins, like
Your thrombo.
it's venous return is not sufficient, which may lead to pulmonary embolism. So that's like uh, blood vessels bursting in the lungs in patients who have undergone hip or knee replacement surgery. And also for the treatment of deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism, and for the reduction in risk of recurrent deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism following initial therapy. So that's a pretty wide indication, but regardless, there's 3 indications listed here. If they were able to undergo the testing and the research and get this FDA approved for an additional indication and listed on the package insert and have it all stamped and good to go, their exclusivity rights on the drug are increased by 5 years. We'll say. I don't know what the actual time is. We learned it at
Oh,
some point, but they get further reaping of the rewards there before it becomes free for all on generic equivalents.
well, like
But
that reminds me, like Walt Disney, like all of the old Walt Disney, like the oldest cartoons they made should be public domain by now, but they're doing some like weird legal jujitsu and keeping them out of the public domain somehow with their like crazy legal team. So like imagine if
that's
Steamboat Willie was just like, I don't know, you could just use it for anything and get paid for it because it's public domain.
I'm pretty sure. I thought there was. Dude, oh my gosh. I have a funnier story actually. I was recently at a church event and they had a like shaved ice guy there and I forget what his shit was called. Let me think of it. Um I want to say like Lindsay's, like a woman's name, Lindsay.
Okay,
Lindsay's shaved ice or something, but either way, it was like an anagram or a near anagram of Disney and it was
the
in the
same font.
Disney font. It
Yeah,
was in the Disney fucking font, dude. And I was looking at it. I was like, like at first I'm looking at it and I'm like, dude, something's wrong with that. Like with that shaved ice machine. Like, what the fuck is wrong with it? And I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, I got it. That's the Disney font. And I looked over. I'm like, hey, doesn't it look like the Disney font? They're like, yeah, it kind of does. And then I look at it for a second, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, it's an anagram of Disney too.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck? How much more blatant could you get? And so what I was gonna, I think that's hilarious, first of all. But what I was gonna say originally is I thought that Mickey Mouse, like the original Mickey Mouse or something, did become public domain. But there's like some iterations of Mickey Mouse that aren't. So
I told you
like,
it's legal jujitsu. Like it should totally. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not worried about it though.
dude, Martin Shkreli's beard is something else.
Yeah, his beard is kind of sus, but the, I told you the story about like he seduced like the main reporter working or like reporting on him, right? Before he went to jail.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. He's so fucking based, bro. It's actually insane.
Did he have a phone in jail?
I don't think so.
No. So he was ghost for 4 years.
Yeah.
Didn't
That
you say he has a Wu-Tang album?
he sold it.
Uh,
Well, he
did
has
he listen
his.
to it?
I mean, the person he sold it to isn't. They haven't like released any of it, which is unfortunate.
No, did Shkreli listen to it?
Yeah, he did for sure.
Uh, sweet. And
But
it's
like,
all unreleased stuff?
yeah, all unreleased Wu Tang tracks. Yep.
What's like the timeline on it? Like when were the tracks recorded in relation to all of their other stuff?
I don't know much about it, but I was like, I haven't researched it much because it pissed me off because there's probably some heat on there. So we'll never know. He sold it for $4 million before he went to jail. And I think actually the person who bought it like streamed it live, but I haven't looked for the recording if there's any. So
Damn. And there's only one, it's one of one.
yep.
That's insane,
And
dude.
they
And is it on vinyl?
I'm not sure what the medium is. And like I
Dude,
remember watching this interview with him, like he literally just got to flex because he was like that rich and just like yeah, like all the dudes in his circle, like they just like flex on each other all the time because they have that much money to throw around. It's a whole different
but
lifestyle.
the guy that bought it from Shkreli,
No, Shkreli originally, like he just bought
uh,
it to flex. But I mean, he's like a rap enthusiast too, so
didn't he become a Wu-Tang fan like after he bought it?
I'm not sure the entire backstory on that, but like he's always liked rap, I think.
Yeah, that's something else, dude. Four
Like
million to flex.
it's like it's kind of inspiring though, like because he just made money by being smart. So I feel like you and me can make money, like real actual money, instead of like stupid money someday.
Dude, my problem is like I need to put myself into positions where everyone around me isn't saying like, dude, you're so smart. Like, what are you doing here? And I haven't found those positions yet.
Yeah, I mean we're both really young, so like I guess we have to keep that in perspective. But I think we're both like aware of like what am I trying to say here? Like we can kind of see between the lines a little bit, just slightly more than other people. So I think that's where the money making starts because you see opportunities and you see what you can do and what you're capable of instead of like resigning yourself to your fate of working in a cube for 40 years.
Yeah, dude, fuck the cube. Unless that cube's a van and you're driving around and climbing stuff, then that's kind of cool.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like an ego thing. Like for me, I don't know. I gotta like, I gotta be successful, whatever that means. Well, we discussed that in episode. What episode was that? Episode 13. But yeah, ego's a hell of a drug, dude.
I got one for you, Aaron.
Let's hear it.
Eto Malshik in est Jabloka.
This boy is not eating an apple.
Correct. Good
Class.
job.
That means awesome. And yeah, I don't know. Like I've just learned like mostly like a smattering of words. I need to start watching my lady I'm watching on YouTube again.
Yep, there's a difference between written and spoken, that's for sure.
And I've been like watching the YouTube videos and like I've been practicing like writing the physical letters too, because that for me like when I write something down, it I remember it. Like the chance of me remembering it goes like way, way, way higher. So
Yeah, I was writing down a bit.
or even typing would still be. I mean, not for me, not as good as writing, but typing would still be better than nothing.
Yeah, typing's like active recall. That's what I like about the Duolingos. It makes you type it. Some of them there's like an option to drag though, which I only do for like the Russian characters because I don't have a PC Russian keyboard. And dude, the Duolingo on the phone is like way different than the PC.
Is it better or worse?
Way, I think it's worse. You get like 3 lives per day or something.
Oh yeah, that's messed up. Because I mean that's what they really want to monetize is that one. So that makes sense. I feel like the vast majority of their users are on the app, the phone app. So
Yeah, probably. Dude, I will say that there was on Saturday, me and my father went across town to get some lumber and like the whole drive there I was doing Duolingo on the phone and I think I only lost 1 life. But
that's
I put in a
poggies.
fat day, dude. A fat efficient hours Duolingo.
Imagine if you started paying to win, you'd probably be at the top of the league. I imagine.
Dude, I was at the top of the league when I left work.
You got to be multi-logging.
And like I said, let me refresh it. It's probably even worse now. Yeah, I'm in fourth. Oh my gosh.
They're weaponizing your quest for your RuneScape quest for achievement into learning a new language. That's actually OP.
It
I,
is,
I
dude. I
wish
was thinking about that
I wish
today.
more stuff was like that, where it's just like literally a game.
Dude, it's hilarious because this was the thought that I had today. I was looking at some of these motherfuckers' profiles and like seeing what language they're learning and like who they're following and shit. And I'm like, bro, all these people could be completely fake. I could be quote unquote competing against robots, and I have no idea, and it's motivating me to learn a language.
I mean,
I
whatever
was like,
works.
but it is like top 15 progress, so I'm in no danger of like not making it to gold. But dude, what did you say the highest league was? Was it diamond or obsidian?
I think it's Obsidian. I think Diamond was
I
the second one.
saw I saw someone in Obsidian League today. It was someone that was like following one of the people in my league. Yeah.
Too bad there's not a community of Twitch streamers streaming Duolingo like 18 hours a day like RuneScape.
Dude, it's bullshit. Because oh, dude, that's another thing about Russian is the square and horse. Like I was saying earlier, square almost sounds like bullshit. It's bullshit.
Lotion. Oh, what is cock? So, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
cock.
Cockdilla, how are
No,
you?
no. What? That's not what. What is cho or cho?
Sto or sto, isn't it?
Cho.
Sto,
It's like it's the
sto,
CHTO, I think.
sto.
It's like
Or
Google
cock is
Translate.
how are you? Yeah, how. That's what I meant. My bad.
Yeah, it's the CHTO.
Sto,
Cho.
sto.
Stoeto. What is that? So anyway, yeah, on Duolingo, I could get points. I could add a course for like English, and then like probably get XP for like doing that. But that's just like,
That would be so stupid.
dude, I swear, if I get to Obsidian League and I see a bunch of like Spanish sounding motherfuckers like this Gabriela Estrada who's learning German, so good for her. But if I see Gabriela Estrada learning Spanish, I'm gonna be pissed off. Or if I see her learning German and Spanish, like boost and
She's
English,
multi logging.
yeah, if I see Gabriela Estrada that says location
Is that
California, USA, learning Spanish, English, and German, oh
boosting and dollowing your Duolingo elo?
yeah, dude. Oh man, imagine she has three tabs open, like doing them all at the same time too. And
Oh
she's like
no.
boosting for gems, so she's doing these like mega crowns and getting 4 times the XP as me.
Oh, that's
Oh
not good.
man.
Oh man.
No, dude, but like, imagine my face when I get to work and open up my laptop and I'm all hyped because I get to promote to Silver League and I see the person ranked number 1 is higher XP than my all-time like single day of XP in Duolingo, and it's the first day of the league, and I'm sat here like, all right, yeah, whatever. So then I get up to number 1, PRing my best day of Duolingo, and now I'm already back and forth when I get back home. Like, these people are killing.
Yeah, dude, it's got to be P2W. Like it has to be. There's no way like somebody's sitting there for 20 hours a day like doing Duolingo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It has to be P2W.
Dude, but I have this really memey for people that can't see my screen. Obviously, I mean Aaron can't see it either, but you know what I'm talking about when I say this. I have this really memey old school RuneScape character as my avatar on Duolingo. And when you're in like the top 3, you can see everyone's avatar
You can
like on
mog
your league
everybody.
screen. Yeah, so I can just sit there and mog everyone.
Dude, I accidentally mogged some people in the grocery store today.
Hell yeah, were you
Uh,
there in a stringer?
no, I was wearing my tank top or whatever, and but like I went to the other side of the aisle, like just completely walked in front of these people, and I was like grabbing like some like rice or whatever, and then it walked around me. Yeah, I mogged the fuck out of him. I was like, oh yeah, you just got mogged so hard. Like, I'm not sorry.
Been 11 long years, brother.
But
Oh, and my name's Long John Richardson, so that makes it even better.
my Duolingo name is Shkreli. If anybody wants to add me. Well, that's about all I had to talk about today. Do you have anything else to add?
Oh, let's see. Dude, I did this really cool boulder problem the other day, but I think I fucked up my knee doing it. Or not really fucked it up, but like I might have fucked it up like a little bit. So I've been looking into I might start doing like the actual Ben Patrick protocol, like not buying the uh program or anything, but like legit doing it every day or multiple times per week and seeing how it works. I need to like get all the apparatus together. And I think a lot of it can be done, or at least partially done, with some of the climbing gear that I have.
I think you
And
just need
then,
like a sled, don't you?
yeah, that was about what I was about to say. I might go to Home Depot and get some like PVC 2x4s and throw together a sled. But I have a bunch of stuff that I could tie to the sled, and I have a harness to drag the
Yeah, I
sled
mean all
with.
that you
Like,
just need like a chain or one of those things you use to tie stuff on the trucks. I can't remember what it's called.
no, I have straps. I have like little ass like they're
Oh,
as thick, like not even as wide as like a lanyard, and they're rated for like 22 to 27 kilonewtons. I think one of them's rated for 27 kilonewtons. So like realistically, I have the means to connect everything and do
you
that,
can
but I
even
just need
pull
to.
the sled with a gi. I've seen people do that for jujitsu, like grip training. They use a gi instead of the straps.
Yeah. Yeah, but that and my ankle, I need to figure out how to rehab this ankle because ever since I fucking almost snapped my foot off up at your house, my ankle's been like latently kind of hurting me.
It's been
And
like what, like 3 months, 2 months?
yeah,
Mine
about
mine took
to,
mine took like 4 months before it got completely better when I sprained
yeah.
in
It
jujitsu.
like, see, it initially like hurt really bad and I literally couldn't walk in it and had to take a week off work and was on like crutches for 5 of those days, sort of thing. And then like after that, maybe like a week and a half later, like I was back up to like 80, well, realistically, like climbing wise, like back up to like 90%. Like I was able to do all the moves and stuff. And even this move that I like fucked my knee on, it implicated the same ankle, and it hurts more after doing this boulder. But like I finished the boulder and it was like really cool and like a sweet move, but like my shit hurts now. But anyway, once I got to like 80% pain, 90% functionality level, shortly after even injuring it, maybe 3 weeks after the initial injury, it kind of plateaued. Like it never got much better from there. And then just recently, like I said, I did that boulder and it like hurts more now. I think functionally it's still more or less the same, but I need to like bulletproof my knees. I guess I hate using buzzwords, dude. I was looking into that guy, Ben Patrick. Is like I'm like 95% sure he's a Scientologist, and all of the people on the subreddit, because the meta for googling now is you
Yeah,
Google like
don't tell
knees over
people.
toes
Don't tell people
Reddit.
my secret.
Dude, the listeners deserve to know. But anyway, I did that and I found like the subreddit for it, and everyone on the subreddit is like a zealot. Like they all use the freaking buzzwords, and oh man, it just pisses me off. I cannot stand that. But they all say bulletproof in the knees.
I mean, that's not a buzzword. I mean, that is a buzzword, but like he's not the one who invented it. I've seen that everywhere.
I know, but he says it so much. It's just like gave me nom flashbacks to watching that guy dunk on his little slant board.
That dude's crazy though. I mean, he's an example of like a smart and dedicated dude who saw between the cracks and figured out how to make money, and now he's like rich beyond measure and doing what he wants to do. So, because
Yeah, see, I
did you
feel
listen?
like
Did you listen to his episode with Rogan?
maybe I feel like that's something I would like. I feel like the answer is yes, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. So
But
basically,
dude, wait, real quick. I'm about to lose this thought. I
okay.
need to get it out there because I think it's good. Um, I feel like a lot of the seeing between the cracks is being qualified or more qualified than sometimes somebody with letters after their name to do a certain thing, but convincing people that you're good to do that certain thing without like spending the normal amount of time and
Yeah.
resources and money that somebody else would spend to otherwise convince somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that's what
Because
what
Ben Patrick, real quick, let me elaborate. A lot of people accuse him of doing, and this is kind of on the negative side of what I just said, but a lot of people accuse him of doing things that somebody with a PT degree would be qualified to do, and when people demand qualifications from him, he doesn't like respond. So I believe that at a certain extent you can express your qualifications through testimonials and actions and your works, but there's also the quote unquote guaranteed way to do it is to get a degree or a piece of paper that says you can do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't even think the guaranteed way to do it is to get the piece of paper. The piece of paper just means you got the piece of paper. It doesn't mean you can actually do anything. It means you're more likely than a person who doesn't, but that's it. But like for another seeing through the cracks example, Bill Gates and Paul Allen both dropped out of, or well, Paul Allen was going to University of Washington, I think, but Bill Gates dropped. He saw through the cracks for like computing stuff, and he said, "All right, I'm gonna write this interpreter for BASIC." Well, BASIC was like the original like common use programming language. Basically, him and Paul Allen wrote an interpreter for BASIC for this Altair 8000 or I can't remember the exact model, but interpreter is trying to think of what the it's like you enter in the interpreter and you can like do like 3 plus 3 equals 6 and the interpreter gives you 6, or you could type in like I can write a little program like do this 3 times and the interpreter will do it for you. Basically, they wrote an interpreter for this new computer for the language BASIC because they saw through the cracks that this would be a really cool product that it would make computers accessible, way more accessible for people, and they eventually became rich off that. But yeah, that was my one of my seeing through the cracks examples. Um, but yeah, the funny thing about the Ben Patrick thing is like he doesn't fucking need a PhD because like literally watch his videos. That's his PhD. Like he spent thousands of hours like refining his techniques and like learning and teaching people. Right? That's like a real life PhD. So
Yeah, I agree and I disagree, but I mean realistically I think there's a lot of things out there that generally um people look to like a certain type of person to do it, and like convincing people that you're that person is like 99% of the battle, because once you can convince a group of people, it's a lot easier to have that group of people convince a wider group of people than to you yourself convince a group of people. So like once you have people trying what you're saying for them to do, or testing your science or whatever, like once they all come back and it's like, oh, everyone says like, yeah, it's not bullshit minus this one person, and it's like, well, then you're kind of like, oh, yeah, one person, whatever, and you trust them, and it's so in some professions like a medical doctor, for example, like there's a logical reason why they need to go through the schooling and have the letters after their name, but ultimately, even discriminating between doctors, like you need to be able to see the person's work and have their testimonials and have interactions with them versus just walking into their office and having them show you
yeah,
the paper on their wall.
yeah. There's absolutely like terrible and great doctors. So I was gonna say something else too, but I mean it was just like another example in the same vein. But it's crazy. Like here's the quick story about Ben Patrick from his appearance on Joe Rogan. Like he was a really good high school basketball player, like really good, like college bound, like scholarship D1, whatever. He blew out his knee, and the doctor said you're never gonna be able to play basketball again. So he was kind of just like loafing around in his town, like doing like odd jobs, and he got really pissed off because he loves basketball, right? So he basically read like every single medical textbook or whatever about the knee and did all this like he researched how to reconstruct his knee for 2 years basically, and he eventually like rehabbed it so he's like even like a better athlete than he used to be, and then he like walked on to like some Division 1 school, I can't remember which school, for basketball. And then when he started doing all of his weird training techniques at school, the strength and conditioning coach was like, "Hey, you can't be doing this. You gotta do my routine, like blah blah blah." And eventually he dropped out of college and then started his knees over toes program, which became what it is today. It's funny though. there's a parallel between Ben Patrick and Bill Gates. They both, well, I don't, I believe Bill Gates did this. I mean, I believe Ben Patrick too because he's a weird dude. But like, they both like didn't listen to music, didn't watch TV, like didn't play video games or anything for like their first like 4 or 5 years while developing their thing. They were just like literally like laser fucking focused on uh building Microsoft slash building the knees over toes program.
Um,
Like Bill Gates literally took the radio out of his car because he was that focused. So yeah, I just think that's like an interesting anecdote.
yeah, I don't know if that's like the best way to go about things. I
It
don't
may
even
not be
know
the
if that
best for
would,
it may not be the best for some people, but it is the best way for other people. So I don't think there is one right way to do anything. I just think it's
but
good
I
to
think there can be multiple wrong ways to do something.
yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. I think. Um, well, it's funny because I mentioned Tim Ferriss earlier. I've read like most of his books, and he has two books one's called Tools of the Titans, one's called Tribe of Mentors. And basically they're both like strategies for like how successful people or world class performers worked. The funny thing is everybody had a fucking different strategy. So I think it's like focusing and finding what's best for you, and ultimately there is going to be hard work involved, like no matter how you shake it out, but the ways people can like get themselves to do that work were extremely varied. Like you have the super disciplined mavens like David Goggins, or you have like the really weird creatives. um I can't think of any of their names right now, but basically, yeah, there's no one strategy to be successful. It was the moral of that story from I got from reading that book. But everybody did have a strategy, though. They were being very mindful and intentional about the way they lived their lives. So
Yeah, I think the no music thing's like longitudinally detrimental. I
I
think
mean,
like
he did like, so it's detrimental for like your health and well being, but it's not detrimental to like being the most productive fucking Microsoft dude ever, right? It's you're killing, like you're taking away from
robbing
one
Peter to
thing.
pay Paul.
Huh? Yeah, basically. I mean, it's not in air quotes balanced lifestyle, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, building that empire, like he basically monopolized the entire software industry until the government told him to stop. So yeah, definitely not a very balanced lifestyle at all. But that's how he beat everybody because everybody else was living a balanced lifestyle and he was like literally sleeping in the office. So yeah, I mean, again, I'm not condoning nor worshiping that behavior at all, but it's just kind of example of what you can do if you really want to do it. So
Gotta see through the cracks.
yeah, I mean that's what like Elon does the same thing. He like works really hard, blah blah blah. I mean, I definitely don't want to live a lifestyle like that, but I also don't want like $10 billion. I'd be happy with like 10 million, I think.
Yeah,
But
but it's also like RuneScape levels, isn't it? I mean, 10 billion's level 99, but 10 million's level 97.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like that's. I don't think it's fuck you money, but it's close.
10
Well,
million? I think 10 million's definitely fuck you money.
I think 50 is fuck you money.
Yeah, they're both in the same boat.
Well, I don't know. It really depends on like what level of fu you want. Like,
Dude,
I think there's levels
all
to
I
that
know
too.
is so my cousins have a cottage on a lake up in Michigan somewhere, and a lot of the people on the lake are like Chicago millionaires just because it's in Michigan. And all of those people, I mean, my cousin's really into boats, and every time we're out in the boat, he's pointing at different boats and telling me how much they cost. And like, realistically, the craziest property on that lake might be in the ballpark of like 10 million, possibly. But all of the other like really nice properties on that lake, plus their boats, like are nowhere even near 10 million. Like that's an easy like under three, under two. maybe even under 1 million, and they still have like the nicest properties out on there. Plus they have their regular house, which again, you throw 2 million or something at that, plus the cars and shit. You have like 7 million to throw around. I mean, like, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, I mean, like earlier in this episode, we talked about how Martin Shkreli like spent $4 million on that Wu-Tang album just to like, you know what I mean? But like again, I don't really care about all that shit. I just want like time to work on what I want to work on. So that's all. That's all.
Time's free, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, I got to spend all this time working and like wasting my good creative energy on
What if
other shit.
instead, what if instead you didn't work and you didn't own anything and you went and lived on a public land somewhere and like fashioned tools out of hickory snatches and flint and did some like IRL Minecraft.
No thanks.
Because eventually, think about it this way: eventually, if you were good enough at IRL Minecraft, you could build up your own like house. It doesn't
I
even
mean, but
matter. You
then
can
I'm
make your own
still working. I'm
electricity.
still working and not doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I like have to do to survive. So
But
it's
it's in the pursuit of what you want to do.
which is I mean, but the way I'm doing is like a very slightly shorter way of doing that. Basically, I think
Yeah, it
maybe.
all depends on perspective, isn't it?
But yeah, ego,
Did I?
ego. It's hell of a drug.
True. I need some Russian friends. Practice Russian with.
Um, there's like Russian Twitch streamers. There's on the app Clubhouse. There's people speaking Russian.
Dude,
Um,
I'm just gonna go on like chat roulette or whatever the equivalent is nowadays, as in like turn it to Russian and just get a bunch of Russian people.
but yeah, I mean, I kind of have plans to do that at some point. I'm just not like quite there yet. Maybe like 6 months from now.
Как дела?
Как дела?
Uh, muy
Хорошо.
zovut.
Хорошо. It's меня зовут.
Меня зовут Bo.
That's all I got. I could say Malchik and Yablika all day though.
Dude, it's like the Bert Kreischer bit where he's like, I wanted to go in and say, my name is Bert Kreischer, I like vodka, and I work the pussy. But what I actually said was I work with cats.
Yeah, apparently the word for vagina and cat are similar or something.
Oh, dude, I learned cats today. It's like,
Coat.
no,
It's K O
it has
T.
an,
Coat.
no, it has a SH in it.
The one
Cats.
I
It's
learned
like,
was K O T.
kotsie,
I feel like
kotsie.
we learned like different versions of like different conjugations of it or some shit because I was watching the YouTube video and the chick said KOT. So
So, cats. Yeah, koshki. Cats. And then cat is, koshka, I think. Yeah, koshka.
type in KOT on the Russian keyboard and tell me what it says. Though I guarantee you it translates back to English cat.
Um, yeah, it does, but it says translate from Slovenia. What? Dude, when you do English to Russian, it does the one that I learned, which is koshka.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's like
Koshki.
multiple. There's like a lot of versions of the same word. Cause
Maybe.
my
Maybe our
coworker was
Russian listeners can tell us.
yeah my coworker was talking to me about that. Like yeah, there's like 6 different words for like one thing. I'm like okay, that's weird. And that's why the Russian poetry is so cool. It's like rapping, but like with like 3 extra layers of complexity on it. Apparently.
I learned how to say, they kept making me say cat, my cats eat eggs, or like our cats eat eggs. Nashye, koshki, itye, um, yatsi,
Yep.
maybe?
I don't know the word for eggs.
Our cats eat eggs. Nashi. Oh, see now this is oh no. Yeah, see this turned into the what you were saying. It's Kotye, KOT, BL or whatever. How do you How do you say the BL? It's like
Let me look at my
ui,
cheat sheet.
kotioi,
It's like, or excuse me, it's like bit, like in bit
nashi kotioi, ediet, yanitsa, or yaitsa. Yeah, one of those.
I want to see some Russian girls on Hinge and be like Privyet, but then they won't see my
Previous.
message probably because the algorithm shadow banned me. So
Damn, feels bad. Maybe you should go on. Oh, Hinge is a dating app. I forgot. Yeah, set your.
that's like the
I.
fucking comedian who like went to the therapist and he was like, "Yeah, I'm depressed," and the therapist is like, "Yeah, you should go see this comedian in town, bro." And he's like, "I am the comedian."
No, what I was gonna say is you should set your radius to like international.
Ah, fuck that. Nah, I'm good.
Cockdilla. Oh, dude, what's Spokojnie noche.
Good night. I think
Good, yeah, good night.
I learned heat is jara, 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 jara.
Nice.
Cold is hold.
Moskva.
I think free is svobodny. Like,
Dude,
is this seat free? Something something svobodny.
I think this has easily been our longest podcast yet.
It's our longest by like a couple minutes. I think the one we had with Tom, was 1 hour 33.
Uh,
So by 3 minutes, yeah. Because we haven't had
Sweet.
one in like 3 weeks or whatever. So like, there's like a backlog of podcasty type things that we needed to talk about. So,
Yeah. You
or
want to
our
wrap her up and do
podcasting
a.
skills have grown and we can now talk even longer about shit without stopping. And it someday will be like Rogan and just be able to talk for like 5 hours straight.
Yeah, but I think also running out of things to say is a little harder when you're in person. But you want to wrap this one up and do another one later this week on the two short stories that we didn't get to?
Yeah, yeah, let's do that.
Sweet. Spokojnie noche.
Yep, das vidanya. And next
Peace.
episode we will be doing like our analysis of a couple of short stories. Should be kind of interesting, I think. So we will see you guys for episode 18. Bye.